we are completed two methods in theory of inference, that is truth table method and direct method. Today we discuss another two methods, rule CP method and the inconsistent premises. Okay, before that remember the implications I1 to I14 that are also useful to solve the problems in this method also. Rule CP. If a formula S can be derived from another formula R and a set of premises, then the statement R conditional S can be derived from the set of premises alone. Okay, here the premises are a set of premises and R. That is, the given premises and an additional premise is R. That R is in the conclusion also. If the conclusion is R conditional S, then we add R as a premise here. Okay. So, rule CP is used when the question asked is using rule CP solve the problem, or the conclusion includes the connectivity conditional. Okay. Here R conditional S is the conclusion, so we use CP method. Note that how to solve the problem in CP method. If the conclusion is of the form R to S, we will take R as an additional premise and derive S using the given premise and R. Okay. If H1, H2, etc. Hn are the given premises and S is the conclusion, then R conditional, H1, H2, etc. Hn are the given premises and the conclusion is R conditional S, then we add this R as a new premise to the set of premises and then derive from this we get the conclusion R conditional S. Now we discuss a problem. Derive P conditional Q conditional S using CP rule from the premises P conditional, Q conditional R and Q conditional R conditional S. Here the given premises are P conditional, Q conditional R and Q conditional R conditional S. Okay. Here the conclusion is Q conditional S. We know that in CP method we derive S. We derive S from the formula R and a set of premises H1, H2, etc. Hn. Then the statement R conditional S can be derived from the set of premises. Okay. Using these given premises in addition with the premise R, we arrive at R conditional S. Then by CP rule, S is the conclusion. Okay. Here derive P conditional, Q conditional S. So in addition to the given premises, we add the next premise as P. So here P is an additional premise. So now we use the implications and solve the problem and we arrive at P conditional Q conditional S. Then by using we arrive at Q conditional S and then by CP rule we derive P conditional Q conditional S. Okay. Step 1. P. Introduce the additional premise. Okay, introduce a new premise. So it is rule P. Write it in bracket additional premise. Here we introduce the new additional premise. Okay. Next, also we introduce the first given premise P conditional Q conditional R. it is rule P. P and P conditional Q conditional R. P comma P conditional Q conditional R. By modus ponens, it is Q conditional R. So remember the modus ponens rule I11. I11 is P comma P conditional Q implies Q. P comma P conditional Q implies Q. Here it is P comma P conditional Q conditional R. So it is Q conditional R. Okay. Also, we know that Q conditional R is equivalent to negation Q or R by the equivalence. So rule T. In 3, we use an equivalence formula, negation Q or R. Okay. Now we introduce additional premise and also first premise. So we introduce the other premise, that is Q conditional R conditional S, that is rule P. Introducing a new premise, so it is rule P. Also Q conditional R conditional S is by equivalence, it is written as negation Q or R conditional S. We know that P conditional Q is equivalent to negation P or R. Similarly here Q conditional R conditional S is written as negation Q or R conditional S. Okay. Next, using distributive law. Also using distributive law or R conditional S, here it is negation Q or R and R conditional S. Here we use the distributive law R and R conditional S. Okay. R and R conditional S. Using fourth result. Fourth result is negation Q or R. Negation Q or R. So negation Q or R conditional S. Okay. Next is negation Q or S. Negation Q or S. That is by modus ponens rule. Modus ponens rule. And the next one is Q conditional S. Q conditional S by equivalence rule. And here it is P conditional Q conditional S by rule CP method. Okay. We using the hypothesis, we arrive at the conclusion P conditional Q conditional S. Now we discuss inconsistent premises. A set of premises or formulas H1, H2, etc. Hn is said to be inconsistent if their conjunction implies contradiction. That is, H1 and H2, etc. Hn is a contradiction. Contradiction means it's all the truth values are false. That is, H1, H2, H1 and H2 and H3, etc. and Hn implies R and negation R for some formula R. Okay. Here R and negation R is a formula. In sometimes it is a variable or it is a formula. A set of premises is said to be inconsistent if it is not consistent. Okay. P and negation P. P and negation P is a contradiction since P having the truth values true and false, then negation P has values false and true. Taking the conjunction P and negation P, we get both the values are false. So the truth table of P and negation P has all the truth values false. So P and negation P is a contradiction. Okay. So if premise is inconsistent means the conjunction of all the premises becomes a contradiction. Then the premises are called inconsistent premises. Okay. We already discussed truth table method, rule P, rule T and rule CP, direct method. Then now we use the new method, indirect method. in indirect method, the given premises are h1, h2, etc., hn, and our conclusion is C. We have to prove that h1 and h2 and etc. and hn implies C. The notion of inconsistency can also be used to derive a proof. To show that a conclusion C follows from the premises h1, h2, etc., hn by this method, we assume that C is false. We assume that C is false. That means negation C is true. Okay. That is, negation C is true. So this negation C is added as an additional premise. This negation C is added as an additional premise. The new set of premise, that is h1, h2, etc., hn and negation C. If this is inconsistent, then arrive at a contradiction. Okay, that means thus arrive at a contradiction, then the assumption C is true does not hold good. Okay, so our assumption C is false. That is our assumption. That is not a good assumption. Okay, so hence C is true whenever h1 and h2 and h3 etc. and hn is true. Thus C follows from h1, h2, etc., hn. Okay, that is, using indirect method, we add a new premise as negation of the conclusion. Okay, we add a new premise in indirect method as negation of the conclusion. Then by using implications, we reach at a contradiction. That is the method of solving problems in indirect method. In indirect method, we add a new premise, negation of the conclusion, and we reach at a contradiction. That is the method of solving. Now we discuss the problem. Show that negation P follows from negation Q, comma, P conditional Q by indirect method. We know that in indirect method, we add an additional premise, negation of the conclusion. Here the conclusion is negation P, conclusion is negation P, and negation of the conclusion is negation of negation P, it is P. Therefore, we add our new premise as P. So now we have three premises: P, negation Q, P conditional Q. Okay. Step 1, negation of negation P. Rule P, additional premise. Here we introduce the additional premise. That is, step 2 is P. By double negation, this is equivalent to P. That is rule T. Next we introduce the second premise, P conditional Q. So it is rule P. And P conditional Q is equivalent to negation Q conditional negation P. So rule T by equivalence. And negation, next we introduce the first premise, negation Q. Okay, negation Q conditional P. Here negation Q and negation Q conditional P. Negation Q, comma, negation Q conditional negation P is negation P by modus ponens. Okay. Then by 2 and 6 we get P and negation P conjunction. Okay. So we arrive at a contradiction. P and negation P is a contradiction. That is, the inclusion of negation C leads to a contradiction. Therefore, negation P follows from negation Q and the P conditional Q. Show that B can be derived from the premises A conditional B, C conditional B, D conditional A or C, D and D by indirect method. Here the premises are A conditional B, C conditional B, D conditional A or C, and D. And a new premise is the negation of the conclusion, that is negation B. Start with the first premise A conditional B, that is rule P, and introduce the second premise C conditional B, that is also rule P. Okay, A conditional B comma C conditional B. Taking the disjunction, we get A or C conditional B or B, that is B. So rule T by using 1 and 2. Then D conditional A or C, that is the third premise, introduction. So it is rule P. D conditional B from 4 and 3. 4 is D conditional A or C and 3 is A or C conditional B. So by hypothetical syllogism, it implies D conditional B. And introduce the fourth premise D, that is rule P, and 6 and 5. D comma D conditional B is B by modus ponens. Then negation P, that is by 7 and okay, that is 7, it is B, and we introduce the new premise negation P. We introduce the new premise negation B. Here it is rule P. We introduce the new premise negation B, and by rule T, B and negation B by 7 and 8 by I9 conjunction. B comma negation B is B and negation B, that is rule T, that is I9 conjunction. So here we arrive at a contradiction. Therefore B can be derived from the set of premises.